Hi, this is Lisa.
And Denise, and we're the Outback Sisters. And glad to see you again. Today we're going to do Nancy Wake, better known as the White Mouse. I don't know if she was better known as the White Mouse, but she was also
She was.
known as the White Mouse.
Her full name being Nancy Grace Augusta Lake. They used to say three names for a serial killer, four names for a
Yeah,
hero.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just start and see. Hope everyone enjoys this one, and I hope you still are able to check out our Cleopatra page as well. Yep, Nancy Wake, also known as the White Mouse, a remarkable figure during World War II. She was born on August 30th, 1912, in Wellington, New Zealand. She grew up in Sydney, Australia. Nancy was significantly younger than her other six siblings. So she was one of six or seven, is that right? She's saying
Seven. One of
seven.
seven.
I'm not good at maths. What do I tell you? In 1914, soon after her birth, her parents made the move from New Zealand to Australia and settled in North Sydney. Nancy's childhood was wrought with poverty and instability. And after a short period, her journalist father moved back to New Zealand, um, abandoning the family under the guise that he was going to be filming a Maori tribe and leaving her mother with six children to care and provide for.
Nancy said in later years, I adored my father. That's what she told the Sunday Times. She was sitting on a bar stool with a walking stick in one hand and a gin and tonic in the other.
How'd you do?
He was as you do, he was a very good looking man, but he was a bastard. He went to New Zealand to make a movie about the Maoris and he never came back. He sold our house from under us and we were kicked out. She then ran away from home at the age of 16 and found work as a nurse. But a windfall inheritance from her aunts enabled her to leave Australia for Europe in 1932. She settled in Paris, working for the Hearst Group of newspapers as a journalist. In 1932, Nancy was travelling through France, writing articles to support herself. According, that's a new word.
That's one.
According to Chloe Curran, Wake's first encounter with the looming rise of the Nazi regime occurred in 1933, when she was assigned to interview Adolf Hitler in
Oh,
Vienna. How cool. This
yeah, I don't know.
encounter, oh, it
She
would be
might have had
cool to
foresight.
interview. It would be cool to interview someone like him or Putin or whatever.
Wouldn't you like to have heard that interview?
Hmm. This encounter reportedly fueled her commitment to bringing down Hitler and his regime. Many question the reliability of this account, but it is undeniable that Wake dedicated herself to the fight against the Nazi regime with unwavering determination. She settled in Paris, where she made a living as a journalist, and in 1939 she married the wealthy French businessman Henri Edmond Fiocca. She was living in Marseille, France, when Germany invaded, so Nancy found herself in a country under German occupation. She worked as an ambulance driver and then she joined the French resistance movement with her husband.
I just thought we would mention a bit more about the French resistance since it does take up a major part of what Nancy was involved in. The resistance was a collection of groups that fought against the Nazi occupation of France during the war. They were made up of small armed cells of men and women who conducted guerrilla warfare, published underground newspapers, and provided intelligence and escape networks for Allied soldiers. Members of the resistance were made up of people from many parts of French society, including academics, students, aristocrats, and Jews. An estimated 1 to 3% of the French population participated in the resistance. That's only a small percentage, really, when you think about it, but they made a lot of damage to the Germans when they were occupying France.
And they were brave. How many
Yeah.
people have the um the tenacity to, or the bravery
That's
to,
it. I
to,
don't know if I
um,
would, but I'm glad she did. Yeah.
yeah.
The resistance carried out thousands of acts of sabotage, including blowing up railway tracks and attacking German equipment and garrison trains. They also provide intelligence, information, and escape networks for Allied soldiers. The risks they took were great, with more than 90,000 resistors killed, tortured, or deported by the Germans. In rural areas, the resistance cells were called, I have to guess it's spelling because I'm not French. I'm going to go, it's Maquis. I'm sorry if you're French, you can correct me.
Maybe
Some
Maquis.
Maquis, yeah.
Maquis.
Yeah, it's an unusual spelling. And well, like I said, I don't know French. This group took no prisoners. The Radio Londres, the resistance used coded messages transmitting over the Radio Londres, broadcasting from the BBC to alert the Maquis of impending D-Day.
In 1940 to 42, she joined the dangerous escape network of Captain Ian Garrow, which later became the Pat O'Leary Line. She helped save the lives of many Allied troops and Jewish refugees. She was given the code name the White Mouse by the Gestapo in reference to her ability to elude capture. She was known for her cunning and was able to elude capture. She would bluff her way using her journalism, bribe prison guards to set prisoners free, and jump from slow-moving trains, often drawing the fire of German soldiers. Blake once described her tactics as a little powder and a little drink on the way, and I'll pass their German post and wink and say, "Do you want to search me?" God, what a flirtatious little bastard I was. And I was quoting her. In early 1943, while attempting to leave France, Wake was arrested along with several others in Toulouse. She was released 4 days later after Albert Geraci, who was the leader of the O'Leary Line, managed to secure her release by falsely claiming she was his mistress and concealing her infidelity from her husband. This was not the truth, by the way. She wasn't his mistress.
No, she was loyal to her husband.
Nancy became one of Gestapo's most wanted resistance leaders and was forced to leave France. She arrived in England and convinced the British government to train her as a official spy and began working in the French section of the Special Operations Executive. Unfortunately, in 1943, Henry, her husband, was captured, he was tortured, and he was executed by the Gestapo. Nancy didn't know this until after the liberation of France. She was noted for her proficiency in all tasks, in doing training reports. She mentioned that she was a very good and fast shot and had excellent field craft. Her cheerful attitude and strong character were also highlighted as exemplary.
In April 44, Nancy parachuted into Auvergne region. Auvergne region in central France. See, Denise knows French better than I do.
French is war.
No, it's taking. Anyway, she went there. She parachuted there and with another member of the Special Operations Executive. She began to work in distributing weapons among the resistance fighters in hiding in the mountains before D-Day. A few months later, she left the resistance and went to Special Ops Execution headquarters in Paris, then returned to London to their special operations there. Upon liberation, Wake then learned her husband Henry had been killed, and this was 2 years beforehand. After the war, she was decorated by Britain, France, and the United States, but being unable to adapt to life in post-war Europe, she went back to Australia in January 1949, aged 37. Shortly afterwards, she ran for the Liberal Party in Labor's Doc Yvette Cocky vat. I've never heard that, and we're Australian, so obviously
No,
I've never heard
again,
Labor's
Labor's Doc Avat. That's a person.
Oh, is it? I've never heard of him.
I think so.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, and having been narrowly defeated, made a second attempt many years later in 51. Again, was unsuccessful.
She was unsatisfied with her life in Australia, so she returned to England. In 1957, she married John Forward. He was an RAF officer. The couple returned to Australia. In 1959, a third attempt to enter politics failed, and she and Forward ultimately retired to Port Macquarie, where they lived until his death in 1997. In December 2001, she left Australia for England, where she lived out her remaining years. Nancy received many medals, and I'll list just a few. The George Medal, 1939 to 1945 Star, France and Germany Star, the Defence Medal, the British War Medal, the French Officer of Legion of Honour, I can't say that, I'm not going to, the US Medal for Freedom and Palm, the French Médaille de la Résistance for her courage and endeavours. Wake's medals are on display in the Second World War Gallery at the museum at the Australian War Memorial.
Her involvement escalated during the war, helped her see more than 1,000 Allied soldiers and downed airmen escape France.
She passed away on the 7th of August 2011 in Kingston Hospital, London, after being admitted with a chest infection. She was 98 years old. She was a unique and brave woman. So, there you go. There's a little bit about Nancy Wake.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm not.
Brave?
Go on.
What do you think, brave?
Definitely. Oh my God, yeah. And the things that she went out to do it. It's not as if, I mean, she was in France at first. She had an option. She got away. She got back to England. She didn't have to go back. And she still chose to go back. And
yeah.
You know, that's a brave person that walks into a thing, you know, like a fireman into a burning building sort of thing. He knows it's on fire and he's into the, you know, the devil's lair sort of thing.
I think
she
true
knew.
heroine.
Yeah, yeah.
Heroine,
and
yeah.
Yes, exactly right. These are people that risk their lives to help others and save others. And she definitely was one of them. And she was quite a good looking woman, I noticed in some of her images.
A little bit flirtatious by the sound of it as well.
Very much. She was she knew she was good looking, I think. And she used that, and why wouldn't you? It definitely in them days especially would have helped to get past some of those some Germans and whatever else she had to get through. But it would also have been a very dangerous thing to do, to be showing that you are attractive. You know, but she obviously knew how to handle it. Yeah, unbelievably brave lady.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us, and don't forget to like and share and anything else you want to do. And we'll catch you next time with another woman from history.
Which woman are we doing next? I'm not sure. Guess what? Might be a surprise.
Could be a surprise then. Hey,
yeah, we've got a few people we're interested in doing and we're working on. So might be a nice surprise. So stick on with us. Bear with us. We're still learning, still trying to get this a bit better and a bit more flowy. And please make any suggestions on just like and subscribe, and we'll hope to hear from you all soon. Bye.